Our next story is from Pakistan. For the last 3 days, the country's Prime Minister has been camping in Turkey, or should I say, Turkey. That's what they call themselves now, the Republic of Turkey. Why the name change? To be nationalistic and politically correct. It's another matter that Turkey's friends remain politically corrupt. Like Pakistan and its Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif. He faces a money laundering case back home. Accusations of embezzling 16 billion Pakistani rupees. Now he wants more. Not for himself, but for his country, he says. Now, we've been telling you why. Why does Pakistan need all this money? Because it is in dire straits, its reserves are shrinking, its debts are mounting, it needs money. It has asked China, it has asked America, it has asked the Saudis and the Emiratis, and of course the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Now it is asking Turkey too to help. So Shehbaz Sharif went to Ankara to make the request personally, and guess who he took along? The entire Pakistani cabinet, yet again. The information minister, the defense minister, the foreign minister, even the investment minister. And yes, the Pakistanis do have one, a minister for investments. That's what they survive on, foreign money. But they haven't made progress in Turkey. You see, Turkey is not really in a position to help. It's facing an economic crisis of its own. It has no money to offer. So Pakistan had to settle for MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. What are these deals about, MOUs? Boosting bilateral trade. Mr. Sharif plans to take it to $5 billion in 2 years. How exactly? By providing more visas to Turkish businessmen so that they could invest in Pakistan and increase trade. That's exactly what he said in a tweet. Did he discuss anything besides money? Well, yes, he did. Reports say he talked about Kashmir with the Turkish president. Would have been news had he not. This is what he said. Pakistan and Turkey support each other on all issues of core national interest, whether it's Jammu and Kashmir or Northern Cyprus. I thank the Republic of Turkey and its leadership for their principled support on the issue of Kashmir. So nothing new there. A Pakistani Prime Minister meets the Turkish president. How could he not raise Kashmir? What is new or noteworthy, given the setting, was what came next. Shehbaz Sharif talked about trade with India. The new Wazir-e-Azam desires to boost bilateral trade with India. This is what he told a Turkish news agency. Listen carefully. Pakistan and India have a lot to gain from mutually beneficial trade. We are cognizant of the economic dividends that can be accrued from a healthy trade activity with India. Healthy trade activity. How about healthy border activities first? Or perhaps a healthy end to terror? Think about it. Pakistan has no intentions to end its Kashmir campaign. It continues to sponsor terror groups that target India, but it wants to do business with India and get economic dividends through healthy trade. Now look at some recent developments. Last month, Pakistan named a trade minister for its New Delhi mission. When asked the intention, if it was to strengthen trade ties, the country's Commerce Ministry said not at all. They called the appointment a routine posting. A diplomatic formality, they said. And they said it does not mean that they want to change their trade policy with India. This was on the 12th of May. We reported it. 2 weeks on, the country's Prime Minister says Indo-Pak trade will be mutually beneficial. For Pakistan, yes, it will be. For India, not so much. India is doing fine anyway. India has enough trading partners, but Pakistan is desperate. And it's not like the two countries do not trade at all. They do. Between 2020 and 2021, the total bilateral trade between India and Pakistan was said to have been $329 million. Between 2021 and 22, the figure went up to $514 million. This is according to data from India's Ministry of Commerce. 2 years back, the World Bank released an assessment. It said bilateral trade between India and Pakistan has the potential to reach $37 billion. Only both neighbors agree to mend ties. That's an impressive figure, 37 billion. But the thing is that it's hard to do business with Pakistan. They say one thing and do another. Plus, they take more than they give. Indian exports outweigh imports from Pakistan by a huge margin, which explains why Pakistan is desperate to enhance trade ties, not just with India, but also with Russia. Look at this headline now. Pakistan open to purchasing Russian oil if no sanctions levied. This is what the country's finance minister said recently. He said Islamabad would surely consider buying Russian oil if the United States does not sanction it for doing so. They're also importing wheat from Russia, 2 million metric tons of Russian wheat. The deal was struck on Saturday. The order will be dispatched this week. Not very long ago, the same Pakistan was trying to downplay its engagement with Russia. Imran Khan's visit to Moscow was being disowned. The army wanted to tilt the country back towards Washington. But given Pakistan's economic crisis, it cannot be a chooser. It wants trade with India, it wants oil and wheat from Russia, and loans from any country willing to shell out. We almost sympathize with Shehbaz Sharif. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.